It is now 6:30 p.m. and we will begin our Board of Education meeting for today, January 17th. Roll call. Here. 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 Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Our mission statement is to educate, empower, and inspire the whole child.
At this time, and just to confirm with the Board of Education, we do not have any questions as it relates to our closed session agenda, so there will be no need to go into closed session, correct? No. So at this time, we will continue our Board of Education meeting. We do not have a Board of Education report for today, January 17th, so I'll turn it over to our superintendent for our superintendent's report.
All right, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our custodians who have done an amazing job over the last few days getting our buildings ready. We know that we will be working on improving our HVAC. Woodgate will be the first, and they are scheduled to approximately, hopefully, be done by August 9th. And so we thank everyone for their patience and the grace that they have shown. And again, thank you to our wonderful custodial staff for keeping our grounds safe inside, outside, and we couldn't ask for a better team. So thank you again. And also, I'd like to thank the parents and for handling everything with your children at home for e-learning. Thank you for your patience, as sometimes we have to pivot because Mother Nature does not want to comply. So thank you again for your patience as well, parents. So I'll go right into the attendance update. So for the month of December, Colin Powell is at 88.5%, Maria Yates 90%, Neil Armstrong 91%, Cedar Prairie 87%, Woodgate Elementary 88%, and Woodgate Pre-K is at 86%. Parents, it is really important to make sure that we get our young people to school every single day. So now I'll move on to our totals for our students. We are total at 1655. Colin Powell, we have 571 students. Neil Armstrong, 283. Woodgate is at 326. Maria Yates at 251. And Cedar Prairie is at 224. So now we'll move into our panorama data, where we are striving to have educational equity, academic excellence, well-being, and belonging. So we have Colin Powell Middle School. We have 10 in-school suspensions, and we have 9 out-of-school suspensions. The 10 in-school suspensions are for violence without physical injury, and out-of-school, we have 9 who inappropriate language, profanity, disruption, and noncompliance. Maria Yates, we have 1 out-of-school suspension for property damage and vandalism. Neil Armstrong, we have 0. Cedar Prairie, we have 3, which is violence without physical injury. And Woodgate, we have 0 suspensions, in school or out of school suspensions. And now I'll move on to Press Policy 113, and I will open it up for our Board of Ed if you have any questions or concerns.
I have a few questions, just because some of the language is outdated. Well, Section 4:60, standards for purchasing and contracting. It states that the board attorney shall be consulted as needed regarding the legal requirements. I think that's open for interpretation. And I think we should set some clear criteria for that. For instance, what would be the least amount of money that you would think on a contract before the contract is awarded that you would need to be consulted, or should you be consulted? Would you recommend that you be consulted on all contracts?
Yeah, I mean, generally I would be consulted on all contracts, but if the board wants to set a dollar amount, that's up to the board.
Well, some of it would be related to employment, and some of it would be related to RFPs or dollar amounts. It's my recommendation. What are your thoughts? What are you all's thoughts on that? So it's press policy 113, section 4:60. Uh,
23 if you're on your tablet.
Sorry, I just printed it. So it's right under standards for purchasing and contracting.
So considering we still have, Dr. Brunson is still fairly new. I would recommend, considering the last lawsuit we just had with it, that we just consult at a certain dollar amount.
So add a dollar amount, and then we do contracts every year for the teachers. We do contracts every year for admin. Should he be reviewing those?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just speaking on purchases. Like, if purchase-wise, it should be just a set amount that we should allow. But contracts, teachers, that should be all.
So, is the expenditures, is that 35,000 is before we consult you? I mean, anything that's over 35,000?
No, 35,000 just is the competitive bidding threshold.
Oh,
Yeah, so if it's over 35,000, it's gotta be competitively bid.
okay. So what would you think it would be a reasonable amount before we consult? Anything over?
Yeah, we just changed it to 35, it used to be 25. January 1st, I think, changed to 35,000.
Okay.
What is the norm for dollar amounts for which, on a contract for which a lawyer should be consulted?
Well, no lawyer should be consulted on all contracts.
Right, that's what I'm kind of thinking.
So you were saying something about a dollar amount.
I
That's
thought
what-
we were speaking on, for instance, if,
Purchasing agreements.
Yeah, like-
So if we're going into a binding contract with any outside vendors and that dollar amount exceeds a certain amount, that we need to consult Chris.
But it's still a
Versus,
contract.
yeah, so you're saying all contracts, it doesn't matter what type of contract it is? Is that what we're going with?
what is the standard protocol right now? What is it saying in there?
Chris?
It says the board attorney shall be consulted as needed
As needed.
regarding the legal requirements for purposes of contracts. Now, technically, that's a little bit different than saying whether or not your attorney should review the contract. This is saying that you consult your attorney regarding the legal requirements for the purchases or contracts. Now, that would be going to, the way I read this is whether or not you have to bid it if it's $35,000.
That's what I
There are
thought.
exceptions. This is not talking about, it could be a $2 contract.
Okay.
Your attorney should review it because it's a legal document.
Right,
No matter what.
Yeah. I don't think that's what that's talking about.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know
Kim,
what
what were
page,
you
I don't
saying?
know what page this is on, but one
I'll
more.
look. What is it?
It's about special meetings. It's really old. It's saying that if we call a special meeting, that the board has to be hand-delivered a notification, or it has to come via the mail. So,
Pony Express.
So we literally just was talking about that at our meeting for the negotiation, that we didn't have to hand deliver it to the president. So I don't think we
Right.
need to be hand delivering it.
Yeah,
okay, so then,
we can
and,
remove that or add.
Just electronically.
Yeah.
okay. That was it. Thank you.
Well, Jan needs to have, I'm sorry, she's the one that makes the
Updates.
yeah.
Which policy is this? Is this the?
I don't
That's the policy number 113.
You want
The one underneath it.
They need to know exactly where in the I'll let you know later.
Where it's at? 220, what did it say, 220? Can you tell me what it said at the bottom of it?
It would be 20, what is it?
Two
Point,
Oh, yeah, 200, yeah.
yes.
2.2
Yes.
hundred?
Yep.
Regular meetings? Yeah.
Yes, 2.200, she said, she'll see.
It's page 6 in our board docs.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll move on to Mrs. Owens. Our favorite CSBO.
Good evening, Board of Education and our ESD 159 family. I do believe this evening I will beat my all-time low.
Low or high?
I know, right?
Won't he do it?
Seriously, I don't have a lot. I do have 2 items that I want to discuss. Don't have a clicker, let me get that. This evening, I will be presenting the fund balance for the month of November 2023 versus November of 2022, as well as discussing chemical waste disposition. Fund balance for the month closing of November 2023. For our beginning balance, we began with $43,083,678.46. Our revenue currently, we ended the month with $9,450,273.35. Expenditures, $15,116,161.67. If we were to close the school year ending November of 2023, we would have an ending fund balance of $37,417,790.14. This is in comparison to our prior year, November of 2022, where we had a beginning balance of $38,776,100.10. Our revenue was $6 million. And remember that last year, the delay in tax bills was extreme. So we had only $6,419,211.20. And our expenditures last year this time was $17,834,457. And that was due in part to completing the expenditures for the STEM and admin building. If we were to close the year out, November of 2022, we would have had an ending fund balance of $27,360,854.30. Any questions regarding the fund balance?
Yeah, I just was trying to understand, our expenses are they negative?
The expenditures are always going to show up as a negative because it's the way this lays out shows you our beginning balance plus our revenue that comes in minus our expenditures to give us our ending fund balance. So it'll always show up as a negative. Any other questions regarding the fund balance?
We have $37,600 in the tort immunity. Is that a new case?
No, this was paying on a prior case. So the bill came in not too long ago for us to pay our portion of the case outside of what the insurance company took care of.
Okay, thank you. And the debt service is 1.8 million, and that's negative, but we're gonna transfer this?
Well, at this point, our debt service, our expenditures thus far is in the negative because we have not received all of the revenues yet.
Okay.
Okay. Once the year actually comes to a close, the school year comes to a close, then we'll see exactly where we are and whether or not we need to do a transfer.
Thank you.
No problem. Any additional questions regarding fund balance? Very well. last but not least, chemical disposition. So we have currently in the district old chemicals that are here on site, and because they're so old and they're not labeled, I mean, when I say old, I mean very old, we cannot just dispose of it. We have to follow the protocol of having an environmental agency come out and inspect what type of chemicals they are so that we can dispose of them properly according to state regulations. And currently we have one company that provided us with their agreement, and I wanted to make sure the board was aware of this agreement. So their agreement is that they charge to come out and test the chemicals. They'll then determine how much it's going to cost for disposition. This is one company. This is all we had so far. We reached out to other vendors, but those vendors, one vendor said, no, they don't do that at all. Another vendor said, we'll shred it, but it has to, I mean, not we'll shred it, we'll come out and take a look at it on Tuesday. They want to come next Tuesday, and they're not charging us to come out. I'm not sure if they're going to actually do the testing or not. But what we want to do is get these chemicals properly disposed of. And so I wanted the board to be aware of it. It's not something that you necessarily need to approve, but it's something that you need to be aware of because it's chemicals. And we have to follow the guidelines for the state regarding disposition of any unknown chemicals. Are there any questions regarding the chemical disposition process? I will update the board once we find the best solution for or the best vendor to go out and get this taken care of so we can remove these chemicals off site. And if we find any other chemicals that the district has from, maybe 15, 20 years ago, we will follow that same process to remove those items as well. This concludes my report.
Now, I do have one question.
Yes.
We will be voting on our RFP, and I know that was a part of in our press policy. So just want to make sure when that process goes that we are informed about it. And then the final three are, I know it says 2 to 3, but if we do get 3 bidders, that we can possibly see the 3 for final presentation to the board?
Well, with the RFP for, you're speaking of food service?
Mm-hmm.
That process is going to be way bigger, and I believe we're going to have way more.
Okay.
And the committee will be gathered, and the board will be a part of this committee.
Okay.
Should the board approve going through the RFP process.
Okay.
If we don't, then we have to go through the traditional bid process, and we're only able to present the bid tally, and the board choose the lowest, most responsible bidder of all.
Okay.
Which is why we are looking for the board to agree to go through the RFP process instead.
Yeah. Okay. Nope, that's it.
Okay, if there are no other questions, this concludes my report.
So that's it, right?
No, we got.
Thank you very much. I will now hand over the mic to our secretary, Ms. Phillips.
Well, good evening. We do not have any audience to visitors, Madam President.
No audience of visitors? Well, that means that it is time to approve our motion agenda. So I'll make a motion to approve. Motion?
Second. Second.
Yes. You have questions, Franklin? You look puzzled.
Okay. So a part of the consent agenda, are we voting for the remodel of the LRCs as part of that? Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So motion to approve the open and closed session minutes for the board meeting on December 20th, 2023 and December 4th, 2023 special meeting minutes. Approval of the accounts payable and payroll as follows. Payroll for December 1st, 2023, $969,679.81. Payroll for December 15th, 2023, $1,039,094.43. Payroll for December 29th, 2023, $978,212.83. Accounts payable through December 2023, $872,791.81. Approval of press policy number 113, final read with the adjustments made from the board this evening. Approval of RFP proposal and request for proposal approval. Roll call. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Franklin.
Yes.
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 Motion to approve our certified staff of employment: Marissa Flores, resignation ESL teacher at Colin Powell; Jashonda Perry, hire special education coordinator at district office; Daniel Ridges, resignation sixth grade ELA teacher at Colin Powell; Tara Taylor Adams, resignation applied technology teacher at Colin Powell; Rose Gilman, internal transfer IST STEM coordinator at district office; Bernina, approval of the support staff employment terminations: Bernina Brunt, hire lunchroom attendant at Woodgate; Andre Nicholas Sr., hire instructional assistant at Neil Armstrong. Approval of the supplemental pay: Dominique Burrow, hire after-school program kindergarten ELA and math at Mara Yates; Joyce Wood Smith, hire after-school program first grade ELA math at Mara Yates; Laura Renthrop, hire second grade Mara Yates; Dana Masonov, hire after-school program fifth grade teacher ELA Mara Yates; Kristen Smith, hire after-school program fourth grade ELA math Neil Armstrong; Sahira Dominguez, hire after-school first grade ELA math Cedar Prairie; Tamara Gibbs, hire after-school second grade ELA and math at Cedar Prairie; Tiana Ward, hire after-school program fifth grade ELA and math at Cedar Prairie; Jacqueline Burrow, hire after-school program third grade ELA math Woodgate; Donna Helton, hire after-school program fourth grade ELA and math at Woodgate; Loretta Page, hire after-school program eighth grade math Colin Powell; Adam Taylor, hire after-school program eighth grade math at Colin Powell. Roll call.
But before we do that, I got a question. So I noticed like Neil Armstrong has had one teacher, and I think Woodgate only has two. Is there any reason why it's only 1 and 2 for those respective schools?
We opened it for whomever would like to do the after-school program, and those were the ones who agreed to do it.
So they have to be at their home school?
They do. I mean, we start with their home school first, and if we have someone else, then we can see if they want to go to the other school.
Yeah, I was just asking because, so I'm talking about numbers wise for the students that will be there. So one will be able to handle the amount of students, or?
We will look at the amount of students and continue to hire. They will not start for another week. We'll see if there's other people that will step up.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the name of the one that was designing from Colin Powell?
You had sixth grade ELA teacher at Colin Powell, Ridges, and then
Okay, I just
Tara Taylor Adams.
I was seeing if you were talking about Ridges. Did we ever get all of that taken care of?
For Mr. Ridges?
Yes.
He left because of medical reasons.
Okay,
He left because of medical reasons.
all right,
Yeah, he left a note in the board docs.
okay. I didn't see it.
Roll call.
Motion.
Motion. Motion.
Motion.
Second. Yes.
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 At this time, I make a motion to adjourn. It is now 6:54 p.m.
Motion.
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 Yes.
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 That concludes our meeting. Good night, everyone. Thank you for attending.